Application Craft's integration features allow you to pull data directly from a database query, so that could be MySQL, SQL Server, Oracle, Postgres and so on, and pull that data directly into Application Craft widgets. You can do that either via just dialogues without having to write any JavaScript, or you can have full control by using JavaScript. So if we take a look at this little app here that's running in live mode, this has got a couple of things on it. We've got a dashboard. This is populating data into a pie chart, and we've also got some list data being populated. So here, for instance, we're pulling out of a database the countries where we've got customers. This number tells us the number of customers in each country. I can click on a country. This is then showing the individual orders placed by customers in France. This is telling us the total aggregate amount of those orders, and this is the number of orders. So I could click on this one, for instance, to drill down even further, and here are the actual 3 orders. Here you can see the adaptive layout capabilities. Make sure you know how to do adaptive layouts, because that's one of the key things to know about building nice looking apps, particularly on mobile devices. Anyway, back to the main topic. So how do we actually feed data into this app? Well, let's just shut this down, and I've got this app open here in the IDE, and the basic thing that we do is, first of all, on the back end, let's go over here. I'm logged in also in this tab. We've set up connections. Now, a connection is just like a database connection from the Application Craft console. So I'm using here this cars connection, and if you look here, we are just simply defining the type of database that it is, and then the connection details. So we've got the server relative to the Application Craft system. That would normally be an IP address or a URL, port address, login details, and the database on that server. You can test out all of that connection. Then you can set up queries. Queries can be set up on connections or directly on an app. So if you've been collecting data using Application Craft data storage engine, then you don't need to set up a connection. You can just talk directly to your apps. So you set up your queries, and we're using this set here. So customer orders, for instance, you can then permission those queries. So you can say who has access to those. And then inside the app itself, so now I'm going to go back in here. Now we choose which queries we want to use using so-called data views. Here are our data views. These are the ones we've got permission to access. We drag those into the right-hand side, and these are then the fields that we're able to use. And then the final step is, let's go for instance to our pie chart, or this bar chart here. The final step, if we're not using JavaScript, is to configure the data access. So here I'm going to specify which the views that I specified just a second ago in the app properties, which one should be used to populate this. What fields, this is a so-called expression editor, this is very important. So in this case, because this is multi-series, this is the label that's going to be used across the x-axis in this case, and then the values for each series, for the 2003 series and the 2004 series. I can specify group by parameters and order by parameters and filters. And then we've also got other features here, such as static filtering, so a filter I can apply now, drill filtering, which is a drill down capability, so it broadcasts a dynamic filter to any other widgets that are connected to the customer orders data source and have their listen property set to true. More on that in another video. But that is the general principle of how this works. And if I'm using data, it's the data section of the property bar. I think I've just explained that hopefully well enough. If I'm not, then I've also got all sorts of JavaScript ways of populating my widgets. So for instance here I'm setting up all of those properties that you saw me doing in the property bar, but through JavaScript, and then calling a getViewData function, and then populate widget, or I can use the set data. But I'm going to go into more details of these in videos in just a moment, but this should hopefully give you an overview of integration as a whole.